Okay, so this next one is a little more touchy, and I should even preface it by that because it doesn't have to be touchy. That might just be a misconception that's commonly accepted. Um, but this one has to do with charitable deeds, and I've noted that there's many folks there that go around and they do charitable deeds, and charitable deeds are wonderful, and they really help our community, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing those charitable deeds. However, the deeds that Jesus is talking about, the deeds that are in accordance to the Father's will and provide eternal treasures, or store up eternal treasures for the believer that is about his Father's business. There's a major differentiation between the two, and I've noted that the two can be talked about singularity, or from a singular perspective, when they're really not. And so I just want to differentiate, or I feel led to differentiate in this moment, that the deeds that the Lord is talking about, that Jesus is talking about in his commands, they're all ushered through in an obedience to the Holy Spirit. So you have to have ears to hear what the Holy Spirit is saying. And then if the Holy Spirit says, I want you to go over to this person or that person, and I want you to give them X amount of money, or I want you to say this word to them, a word that will make no sense to you, or I want you to go and compliment them, or whatever. He could ask you to do anything. He could ask you to, maybe you have a tennis racket and you say, go and give them that tennis racket. When you act in obedience to the Holy Spirit and you do it with a joyful attitude, you're actually giving on behalf, like you're acting as a conduit in dispensing what the Lord wanted to dispense to that person. And you're doing it in secret, meaning you don't want any applause. You don't want anybody else to know. This is a private transaction between that person and the Lord that you got to be privy to, and you get to leave with that joy that God used you as a vessel unto his honor. Now, the difference with that, as compared to somebody saying, oh, I want to go and I see this person has a need and I'm going to go and bless them with, or say $20 or whatever, $50 or a tennis racket. And you go and do that. That's a nice and it's a wonderful thing. But we need to make sure that it's not confused with obedience to the Holy Spirit. Obedience to the Holy Spirit means you have to have an ear to hear what he's saying, and then be obedient. It's implicit that when you hear him, you're going to be obedient to him.